And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
I half expected you to say there's no Matt Marsh and do the thing. You throw me off every single week. It's no big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, you almost did it?
Yeah.
Guys, there's no Matt Marsh. Just so you know. He might join. He might not. He may be counting his ass hairs. Yeah, we don't know. Marsh does what Marsh wants to do. But for the rest of you, the broad you, the royal you, get ready. We're gonna have ups and downs tonight. We're gonna have some fun. Get a little nostalgic. I want to hear about baby Jessica at some point because if she didn't fall down a well, I'm really not interested, but I'm interested. Guys, welcome, you sick sons of bitches, to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
It's like you guys planned that to do it together. That was awesome. Chris Burns is here in the bottom corner. We have the Paul Lind of Dysfunction Junction. Please welcome
Professor Lynch.
I'm sad. I'm sad that I didn't laugh sooner at that. No, because it was fucking funny. And of course, producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, the man who violates community standards and gets away with it most of the time, Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the sad shit out of the way first so we can laugh harder later. If you guys didn't know, you guys knew. 2 days ago, the radio voice of the Yankees since 1989, John Sterling, passed away. He had officially retired in 2024 in the spring, but he came back to do the playoff run and the World Series against the Dodgers. Suffered a heart attack this past January, and health has just been downhill ever since. But he's one of those voices like Harry Carey, Bob Uecker, Phil Rizzuto, Joe Castiglione, Vince Scully. I mean, when you think of names where you just hear Bob Costas could go on that list, where you just hear their voice and they wouldn't even need to introduce themselves. You know who they are. If I wanted to get into pseudo sports, Jim Ross is the same way. In the UFC, Mike Goldberg is that guy. When you hear Mike Goldberg's voice, you know who you're listening to. And John Sterling was that guy. People gave him shit over the years for some of the goofy things he'd say during a home run call, which I thought were great. The nickname,
hilarious.
Oh, so did I, because they were super creative. Take Mark Teixeira, for example. Mark Teixeira would hit a home run. He's like, "You're on the mark, Teixeira." He sends a text message to right field. They were funny as fuck. And if you're a Yankee fan, you got off on that shit. It was hilarious.
Well, I mean, he was doing dad jokes before dad jokes were a thing. Kind of.
Absolutely. If you think back, and you may not watch the Yankees ever, if you're not a fan, I don't blame you. When Aaron Judge came up, it was John Sterling that really put that "here comes the Judge, all rise" when he would hit a home run. And on the radio call, "Today is Judgment Day, all rise." And he would say those things after a home run, and they stuck. And you ask any Yankee fan, they'll give you their favorite home run call by John Sterling. And he was one of those guys that, like Castiglione, that I mentioned before, who was a radio announcer like Sterling. And I'll give the MRN guys in racing the same flowers. He painted the picture for you mentally instead of just saying, "Well, here comes David Ortiz. He steps up to the plate. He's 2 for 3 with a double and whatever the fuck." And he just told you the play-by-play is one thing. John Sterling painted you a picture. At the beginning of the game, he told you which way the flag was blowing, what each team's uniforms looked like. You know, he described the sky, gray and cloudy with a little bit of sunshine coming out of right field. Hope those clouds break. He was just talk to you like he was narrating a film. And from 1989 till 2004, he gave everything. And I'm going to miss the shit out of him. Even though he retired, he did come back for that run. But last year, listening to the Yankees on the radio was a little bit different. Just wasn't the same. And to see a lot of these TV announcers and radio announcers in the last couple of days give him his flowers, whether it was the Mets win when the Mets won the other day accidentally, or Michael Kay, the Yankee TV announcer, doing "It is high, it is far, it is gone," using some of those Sterlingisms. That was nice. That showed that baseball overall really cared about this guy. So from me, thank you, John.
No, I mean he was the voice of the Yankees for all what 1989.
1989 was his first season in the Yankees radio booth.
So I mean he became the voice for 30 plus years. That's what I remember as a kid listening to the Yankees on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Was his voice. I mean, mentioned Bob Uecker. Another huge voice in baseball. But I think modern day equivalent, I think Bob Costa is right up there.
Yeah, Costas
and he had an enjoyable voice to listen to. It wasn't like some guys you listen to and you just want to punch, like Sunday Night Football, Collinsworth. You didn't even have to say his name. It's just...
Everybody, him and Joe Buck. I don't
mind Joe Buck. I like Joe Buck because he's got a good sense of humor. But Collinsworth always sounds like it's so fake. Like he's putting on schmaltz and shtick, and he doesn't seem genuine when he announces.
Oh, that's easy to come up with, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas you get these old farts like Sterling and Costas, where they get emotionally involved in the game.
Oh yeah. And there's a great clip going around of when he got hit in the head, Sterling did, with a foul ball, and the next pitch was a home run to end the game.
Yeah.
And glasses are broken. They're on the desk, and he's just, Yankees win, doing his shtick. But you're right. You could hear that emotion come out of him with the calls. Not the easy ones, like, dribbler up to short. Here comes Jeter, over to Teixeira. There's out number 2. Not like that, but the big moments.
Yeah, he actually gave a shit.
Yeah, and even his partner, Susan Walden, she had excitement in her voice too, but I think she fed off Sterling versus her having that, because she was bland in the late 90s when she joined that booth, and as the years progressed, Susan Walden.
Interesting fact. In regards to in regards to your announcer that passed, and then Bob Costas, and then Collinsworth, and Lynch's remark about the old guys and the stuff.
Costas is 900 years old.
We're clear. There's 4 years between Collinsworth, who is 68, and Costas, who is 4 years
72.
old.
Yeah. I think because we've seen
old. Him and the younger guys and these old farts.
Well, look at Costas, to this point, Costas' career versus Collinsworth's career. Costas' career goes back to the hockey game in 1980, the Olympic hockey game. I remember that. I didn't hear fucking Chris Collinsworth until the last 15 years.
Well, he retired and he was doing, Costas came up a sports announcer guy.
Yeah.
From 1980 forever until 17 minutes ago. Collinsworth played in the NFL, retired, did some, what do you call it? Studio analysis.
Actually, Collinsworth started in 81 and played through 89 and was on 2 Super Bowl attending teams.
Right.
Again, you know what I mean? 92 and 99. But that's before he even got in a booth. He did a 10, 12 years player.
He did to me. Costas to me is more old school because he's been in the booth longer.
Right. I understand when you said been in the booth old versus
remember.
new. Yeah. I mean,
right.
I get it. Leave it to her to ruin the party.
No, but he's right about age. I mean, there's only a couple of years difference between two, but I look at it as old regime, new regime.
Right. Collinsworth didn't hit the booth until I think the national stage. He was doing stuff for the Bengals. He was doing in studio analysis for I think ESPN at one point, and then he gets the Sunday Night Football gig. Which I'm sorry he ever got that fucking gig. I can't see how Al Michaels doesn't want to fucking choke the shit out of him when he was doing it, and now it's Mike Tirico.
Who is the whitest black man on the planet?
Yes, next to Booger McFarlane.
Like Mike Tirico. The guy I always worry about having a stroke when I listen to him announce football is Tony Romo. I think his head's going to explode one of these days. I mean, I love it that he gets so into it. But it's like, holy shit, Tony, dial it down.
Before the Fox coverage stops for NASCAR and it switches over to Prime for 5 races and then goes to NBC, watch a NASCAR race. Watch 15 minutes of a NASCAR race. And your exact theory about Tony Romo is the same thing I think every week about Clint fucking Boyer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, his head's going to explode one of these days.
Yeah, and when NBC takes over, it'll be Jeff Burton. Because you have you have Lee Diffie, who is, basically, hello and welcome to NASCAR, which Herm hates. And then you have Dale Jr., smooth as silk, but a little whiny in his voice. And then Jeff Burton, screaming like someone just stole his favorite dolly and is running down the street with it.
Yeah, it gets people excited. Some people love it, some people hate it.
I mentioned Euchre. You mentioned Euchre. Are people more familiar with his work because of, let's say, the major league films or because of the stuff he did with the Milwaukee Brewers and ESPN baseball?
I remember him first for his Miller Lite commercials in
the
early 80s.
I was going to say, it's everybody for us. It's probably the Miller. It's probably he missed the tag.
Yep.
And I must be in the front row.
I must be in the front row.
Our parents knew Euchre as in a different role, but our
a ball player, an announcer, yeah.
But our most breakout with him was the Miller Lite. I must be in the front row. He missed the tag fucking commercials that he did,
and then being the dad on Mr. Belvedere.
You know what I mean, right? And then he got that, and then yeah.
I mean, I have watched out of market games with the MLB TV app over the years. And listen to Bob Euchre call a game. And again, like John Sterling, TV is different. You see what's going on in front of you, and Euchre does paint you a picture deeper than the picture you see on either your little TV or your big ass Herm wall size TV. He takes you inside. Hey, he steps out. I bet he's thinking, about the next pitch and what could come in. With radio, it's harder. You have to get the person in the car excited or in their job at their job with the radio on, or as somebody described to me today, my family didn't watch a lot of baseball. It was Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and 60 Minutes. So he would listen to the radio broadcast, and basically John Sterling was his voice for baseball. Right. Regardless of if he was a Yankee fan, if he listened to a Yankee game, that was his voice. And I'll put Joe Castiglione from the Red Sox in there too, because Joey C was awesome. But yeah, I don't know how you teach that. And I don't think you can teach that genuine enthusiasm. Anyone can read a book and have all the stats in the world, but that genuine enthusiasm comes from deep down inside. Lynch, what are you doing?
He's touching the desk, which is resonating through the mic. That's what it is, and you can hear it.
Adjust the boom. Sorry.
No worries. I was just curious. Yokozuna.
Yeah. Yokozuna and the ring.
I just think it's sad. I think it's going to be a long time before we get another voice like a Bob Euchre, like a Harry Carey, like a John Sterling. And kids today will not ever know that kind of, who was good too. And Herm and I used to mimic John Sterling when we were playing, was it MVP baseball or home run stars or whatever? Phil Rizzuto was another one. But Phil Rizzuto would go so far off the reservation, whoever his teammate was in the booth would have to bring him back to the game. Mattingly's up. He's 2 for 2. He 1 ball, 1 strike. Me and the missus went down to this Italian restaurant last week, and I think it was Bill White. He was like, Phil, the game? Yeah. Mattingly takes a pitch. It's 2-1. So we're at this restaurant and chorus it, Phil, the game? But the holy cow.
Yeah, he got a little distracted.
I think it was dementia myself, but
hey, he's an old man. Give him a pass.
But holy cow, it's a hit. If you hit this home
Holy
run,
Money store.
the money store, right?
A
You know
money
what happens
store.
every time a Yankee hits a home run, Don Mattingly, this bud's for you. Just stupid stuff like that endear themselves. And I'm going to miss it. I've missed it since he walked away from the booth.
I can't think of a money store commercial with Phil Rizzuto without immediately preceding or coming after a fucking Carville ice cream commercial. Fudgy the Whale.
There you go.
That was always the rotation on the baseball games in the 80s, especially the mid to late 80s. It's Fudgy the Whale. Come on down to the money store.
Cookie Puss is available now for your birthday party.
All the same fucking mold, people.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Because if you turn Cookie Puss sideways, the hat was basically Fudgy's tail.
Yeah, Fudgy the Whale becomes Cookie Puss.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitches. The lion. The lion.
Here it comes. Anyway, Godspeed, John Sterling. You were missed when you walked away from the booth. Thank you for coming back in 2024 to call the World Series between the Yankees and the Dodgers, even though the Yankees lost. I don't blame that on you. I blame that on Skip, you fat fuck. And thanks for the memories, my dear good sir. Thank you.
Dearly departed.
So I heard that everybody was kung fu fighting in your neighborhood. You want to tell us a little about that?
Oh, you're talking to me. Yeah, so
you like how that segue fell flat, Herm?
Yeah. Nice eyes.
His eyes are crossed. He doesn't know what he's doing.
You look like Tiny Lister.
I'm totally.
Look, it's a white Tiny Lister.
I understand everything.
White Tiny Lister.
He is. He's
You
the
mean
white
my
Tiny
bike?
Lister.
Oh, it's Debo. Hide your shit.
Debo, come and hide your shit. That's my chain.
My grandmama got me that chain. You talk about my chain.
My chain, motherfucker.
You mean my bike? We can share it. We keep it at your house. It's okay.
So the reason for my absence last week is my wife and I went to a Foo Fighters concert in Bridgeport.
How many dead bodies?
You had to go to Bridgeport.
What happened there? God,
7.
How many dead bodies?
Runaway camera.
How many dead bodies did you have to?
I didn't have to step
over on the way to the venue.
No,
from the parking lot.
We went to a very nice dinner at a restaurant attached to a marina in New Haven. It was very good. Then we went to Bridgeport, saw the show, Total Mortgage Arena. Nice place. About the same size as Mohegan Arena.
I saw Hailstorm there. It's a fantastic place if you can get past the crackheads.
Yeah. Now, I had seen Foo Fighters previously, but I saw them a long time ago. I saw them on the tail end of their first, going into their second album. So like 95 is when I first saw the Foo Fighters. And they were good then. Foo Fighters was basically just Dave Grohl for the entire first album. He recorded everything on the album.
It was. He did everything, and then he went out and farmed out musicians that could pretty much play everything the way he wanted it to be and do it the way he wanted it, and then they went on tour.
Yep.
He's the longest.
He literally sold the first album, and it was amazing, and it gave him enough money to pull everybody in and pull it together, and then make a giant fucking tour.
So when I saw them for the first time, it was the first time he had played live with Pat Smear. Taylor Hawkins was not yet the drummer. Taylor Hawkins didn't come until I want to say Learn to Fly era, the third album. But this show last Tuesday in Bridgeport was probably one of the best rock shows I've seen in a very, very long time. Where we were sitting, we were about 50 feet from the stage. We were stage left on the side, about 6 rows up. And I mean, I could literally see the sweat rolling off of Dave Grohl's forehead. We were pretty damn close. So it was an interesting perspective to see the crowd reaction too, because I could see everybody from where we were sitting. I could see the front row. I could see the mosh pit. I could see standing room only. I could see all the way up in the nosebleeds. But when they would kick into some of the bigger hits, the early bigger hits, like Big Me, Learn to Fly, My Hero, which is probably my favorite Foo Fighters song, because the meaning, it had a different meaning later on in my life.
Mm-hmm. I remember we talked about that early on in our showdom, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. So like Foo Fighters to me is like represents my life. Like certain songs that he has, Learn to Fly, My Hero, Big Me, they just sound like corny pop rock songs. But a lot of people connect with his lyrics because they're guys our age. Dave Grohl's a couple years older than us.
If Herm looks it up and he's 75 years old, I quit.
No, I think he's got to be like 56.
He's got to be
57.
late 50s, early 60s.
He's 56 or 57. He was
what
only
was,
Dick when he was in Nirvana.
He's 57.
Yeah, I was going to say 57.
57.
Okay, because I was going to say Dickhead was only 27 when he shot himself, and they were all around the same age.
Yeah. But listening to like the concert is kind of like go back into a time capsule. Like I remember when the first time I heard Big Me. I remember the first time I heard Learn to Fly. I remember the first time I heard some of their bigger hits later on. But to see the crowd reaction and see 10,000 people just fucking explode at the same time when they launch into that guitar, the first guitar chords in Learn to Fly was fucking amazing. Like goosebumps. You could feel it. And there's just the energy in the room. And there's very few concerts that I've gone to in my life that are like that.
I've been to a few like that, but my biggest question about this show, I know the music had to have been fantastic. You know, anything Dave Grohl puts himself into is pretty freaking awesome. The dynamic of the crowd, it wasn't all guys and girls our age. There had to be some younger folk. Was it a decent split, or was it like?
It was a kind of wide swath. I mean, the youngest kids I saw there were 10, 12, and there were people rocking out in their 70s.
Nice.
There too. I mean, that to me says a lot. It's like when we went to the Gene Simmons show together.
Yep.
You had 15 to 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a crowd that cuts a wide swath, and because their music is accessible to just about everybody.
Sure. There
are better albums than others with the Foo Fighters, but they're not bad albums.
Right. The only concert I can think of that had, other than Kiss, and I don't want to always keep pointing back to Kiss, but I went to a show in, it wasn't Worcester, it was outdoor. Maybe it was Worcester, the old Loca Bazooka that featured Disturbed. My friends in Jaded were there, Brand New Sin, bunch of really great acts. And you had kids as young as 6. I remember going to a show at the old Meadows, and Motorhead was one of the openers. And to watch this, he couldn't have been more than 14 years old. And I'm in my 40s. And this guy is jamming the fuck out to everything Motorhead does.
Oh,
you're right.
Speaking of Motorhead,
music is timeless. Go ahead about Motorhead.
He busted out a tribute to Lemmy and played Ace of Spades almost all the way through. Transitioning from one song to another. Yeah, it was fucking amazing.
Well, when we were at the Gene Simmons show, they did Ace of Spades, which completely threw us both on our ass.
Yeah. Well, it just shows that Lemmy's timeless.
Of course. And I'm sure
there isn't a metal or rock band alive today that can't say that they draw some inspiration from Lemmy and Motorhead.
Oh yeah. I can't remember who it was. I was watching it not long after Ace died in October. I think it was in October when Ace died. You know, a lot of these hardcore, you know, pumped up black eyeliner, gothic, crazy bands would do tributes to Ace Frehley on stage.
My Chemical Romance, bunch of those teeny bop kind of metal bands, Good Charlotte, guys like that. You'd be amazed.
Yeah, it's like you can not like a band and like a member. I have never been the biggest fan of Bon Jovi, but I will fight and die on a hill for Richie Sambora.
So will I. He's a great musician, fantastic guitarist. Now, speaking of great musicians, I was worried about the replacement for Taylor on drums, Taylor Hawkins, who's a phenomenal drum player. This kid, Ilan, or Elon, however he says his name, is fucking amazing. His drum solo was, he'd give any other rock drummer, modern rock drummer, a run for their money. He was really good.
I don't want to disparage drummers because I know a few, and one of them watches our show and will be coming on in June upon the release of his new book. So I don't want to disparage drummers. It's the easiest person to replace in the band, but it also changes sometimes the engine and the dynamic of the band. And when you get a good one, like it sounds like the Foo Fighters did, all the better. And if they can capture the spirit.
Dave Grohl has stated in interviews just after, well, not just after, but a year after Taylor's death, he's like, that's a hard throne to replace.
When you have someone like that, yes. I mean,
yeah, because you got to think about it. Taylor was with them almost the entire career of Foo Fighters. Mm-hmm. Taylor wasn't the very first drummer, but he came in like the year 2000. He became the drummer, like Pat Smear became the guitarist, like the rhythm guitarist.
Like, and I hate to keep pointing back to Prince, because I did mention Prince a little earlier. Prince's band could go in 16,000 directions, and he pulls somebody in who has the same flavor, and you don't know the difference because Prince is holding on to it and molding it like clay, and that was the genius of Prince.
Well, the other genius of Prince, if he didn't like the way he did it, he'd just do it himself.
Yeah, basically. And he could.
Yeah.
You know,
same goes with Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl said, I can record the drums in the studio, but I can't do that shit live.
You can ask a Kiss fan, a Motorhead fan, bands who have changed drummers, who is the drummer for your band, and you'll get 3 different answers. You ask a Foo Fighters, who is the drummer, and regardless if he wasn't the first, he'll never be the last, but it's always going to be Taylor Hawkins.
I just think about what Metallica would be like with a good drummer.
Oh my God.
Hot take.
They're already the biggest heavy band in the world. They'd be bigger.
Remember I said the other day I had an idea for a new little bit, hot takes. Mm-hmm. And my hot take, Lars Ulrich is a shitty drummer.
That was my hot take until Hardwired to Self-Destruct came out, and he finally played a good
I still
drum
think
album.
He's a fucking mediocre drummer. He can't keep time.
It was Dave Grohl.
That's why he switched to guitar and front man.
Dave Grohl is self-committed.
Dave Grohl is a mediocre drummer, and he will tell you.
That's why he got away from drumming. He learned himself how to play guitar.
When that Hardwired album came out, and you have to remember, you're coming off of Saint Anger, which sounded like someone was hitting a baseball bat against an empty keg of beer, the drum sound. And then you moved into Death Magnetic, where there was too much bass drum, and it just sounded watered down. Now you go to Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and I don't know if they hired somebody to tune those drums right or to record those drums right, but you'd have thought Lars Ulrich was John fucking Bonham on that record. It was that good. And I did a live commentary on. Go ahead, please.
Here's my problem. You take him out of the studio, he can't do it.
No, if you've ever seen Metallica live, he's passable.
He's barely passable.
He's like the if you've ever been to a festival and you've seen Macy Gray's band and he's got the plugs and the headphones, he's probably got a click track like getting paid by the hour, playing playing basic 4/4 bullshit.
Yeah. But anyway, I digest.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, it was a great show. 3 hours. They played every fucking hit that they had. And then some. We could see the set list because it was taped to the sound booth computer. And Megan took a picture of the set list. And I said, he was joking. He's like, how long a concert you want to be here tonight? You want 2 hours? How about 2 1/4? You know what? Fuck it. We're going for 3 hours. First stop of the tour. We're giving Bridgeport, Connecticut the concert they deserve. Now, they were supposed to be in a music festival 2 years ago in Bridgeport, and they got canceled.
At the amphitheater?
Yes. There was supposed to be like an all-weekend music fest there that we were going to go to because Foo Fighters were there. And my wife has always wanted to see the Foo Fighters. And another side note, when they played Toad's Place last year, my wife got really pissed at me because I didn't want to just run off on a Tuesday night and go to Toad's Place. Because I knew by the time we had gotten there would be no tickets.
No.
They would show up at the door, get your tickets. And that shit sold out within an hour.
Oh, I can imagine. You know, even when Nathan came through town with Shaman's Harvest, they weren't the headliner. They were the co-headliner. Hinder was at the top of the bill. And he let me know, hey, man, I'm coming through New Haven. You've heard Nathan talk, that down home Missouri shit. Hey, man, we're coming through New Haven. You tell me how many tickets you need, and they'll be at the door. I says, well, you don't have to do that. It's Toad's Place. Hinder had already sold half the building on their website.
Yeah.
On pre-orders. He's like, you don't get it. There's only X amount of tickets left. I need 4 tickets and 4 passes. They were there. Only 2 of us went because the other 2 got sick. And we got the backstage gimmick, went on to their bus to record the interview, hung out with them for a little bit, drank a couple beers, and they're like, all right, we got to go in. I guess that means we have to go in because we're not staying on your bus. Heaven knows what we'd find.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's you always had going to a concert with that little forethought nowadays, almost impossible.
Yeah. But
and I will say this.
Different than what it was in the late 80s, early 90s when we were younger.
Oh, sure.
We just hop in a car and you want to go to Toads? Sure.
Well, back in that, you got to remember, back in that period in the 90s, rock was dead. So if you wanted to see Van Halen at the base, there were 10,000 people there, but they could have got 20, 30,000.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go see, I went and saw Pantera at Lupo's in 94, 95. Walked right up, got a ticket, day of. But rock was dead.
Yeah.
You know, try to do that now with Ghost this past year at Mohegan Sun. Try to do that with Metallica coming up. If you have $1,500 for the worst seat, try doing that for any show. You're not going to do it unless that venue is struggling to sell tickets.
I think that's hilarious. I find that the funniest thing.
What's that?
That Metallica is that there are people paying that to see Metallica.
Same. I think it's hilarious.
Thing. I'm like, you people.
Wouldn't catch me spending that kind of money.
Do I have the money? Absolutely. Am I doing that? Fuck no.
No.
And I know they're they're coming to Denver. I checked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, my wife was.
I'm not. That's just. That's wrong. That's wrong.
I mean, my wife is excited for Metallica to come to Mohegan because she said she would have actually gone with me because she knows how much I like Metallica in concert.
Have you not? Oh, I was going to say, have you seen them before?
I've seen them a million times. My wife had.
Okay. I've only seen them 3 times.
I remember, I think 9 or 10.
Oh, twice as an opening act and once as a headliner.
And they're great every time.
Yes.
But I'm not spending $1,500 for maybe 2 hours of entertainment.
No.
An uncomfortable seat at Mohegan Sun. Who, another hot take, I think is one of the world's shittiest arenas for sound.
If for a heavy band, yes. If you get a Journey in there, or I went and saw Christ, who was it? Goo Goo Dolls, Bon Jovi, and somebody else, Triple Bill. Sound was amazing. But when we went and saw Black Label, it was so distorted. It sounded terrible. But if they'd have gone up the road and they played Providence or
It'd
Worcester,
been a different story.
oh, it would have been clear as glass. It would have been great. But Mohegan Sun was not built, I think, for heavy groups. Not long after the arena opened back in 1862, Judas Priest came through the Reunited with Rob Halford tour. The first couple songs sounded great. When they got into the heavier stuff, it just sounded like the walls were closing in on you. The reverberation was terrible.
I think the best sounding set I've heard out of that arena in the time that I've been going was probably Megadeth. Their sound guy dialed it in just right.
Was that the what do they call it? You went with me, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
Jason Newsted, Megadeth.
Yeah, Newsted's band, Megadeth.
Oh, Newsted killed
David Draymond.
Yep. I will see that and raise you Godsmack, because Godsmack sounded great in that arena.
So
the
did
first
Zombie.
time I saw Godsmack there.
What was that?
Zombie?
So did Zombie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I think that has more to do with their sound guys knowing when to dial it back to make it clear.
Honestly, gentlemen, that's every sound guy for every building. That's their job. Is to make the
some
sound
of them. And that's what we're
work.
saying. Some of them aren't doing it.
But it's not. But it's not the building. There is no one sound guy for that building. You go in and you have your sound guy. The problem is your sound guy is not dialing it in, or
all
doesn't.
right. And I can understand that, because Lynch can attest to this. I've been to shows at the Webster. I've been to shows at Lupo's. I've been to shows at Toad's that have sounded crystal clear versus shows at even one of the Sheds. We'll say the Meadows or Tweeter or whatever the fuck they call it now. The Tampax Arena. Fucked if I know. In Mansfield, when I saw Five Finger Death Punch. Out of the 4 bands, 2 sounded great. The other 2 sounded horrible.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Herm.
It's the sound guy, because we literally just threw out almost half a dozen names of bands that are heavier that actually sounded good, and then we've all got memories of bands that didn't, and I truly believe that's the sound.
What's the name of the theater? You're right, and I'm gonna challenge that, and not challenge it, but I'm gonna attest to it. Lynch, what's the name of the theater in Boston that everybody used to go to? I think it's shut down now. Is it the Orpheum?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw two shows there within 2 months. I saw Judas Priest with Ripper Owens, the guy from fucked if I can't remember his name. The guy from Stern, who's a drummer, his band was there.
Charred Walls of the Damned.
Thank you. And Ripper played in both. He did double duty that night. Yep. The show sounded passable. Now you have Motorhead come in, and Lemmy had more amps than he had brains. And you heard him say it. I want the loudest, most obnoxious show on earth. But it was so clean. Same building.
That literally comes down to who your sound designer is and knows the building, and the front of the house guy.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give him credit.
That's the problem with, I hear this about Mohegan because a very close friend of mine used to be the head of security there, Steve Kaliwa.
Mm-hmm.
Sound guys are lazy. Not all. But he said, for the most part, these sound guys are fucking lazy. They go in, they set up their shit for, let's say, they were just at Madison Square, or they were just at Great Woods, or they were just at wherever. They don't change the settings from one venue to the other.
Good morning, Kahuna.
Hey, Kahuna. They throw all the shit together. They do a sound check, and they don't do a full song. And the guys who worked for entertainment at Mohegan would tell them, you need to play your quietest and your loudest shit full through to get this arena. Because you're going to do the programming, automatic programming on your sound machine when to turn shit up and when to turn shit down. And they just, I got this. I know what I'm doing.
One of the, I don't know if it was the same guy he talked to, your guy, Steve. One of the 75 times Kiss has come through Mohegan Sun, I actually got to hang out with a couple of the guys, including the sound guy, Paul's guitar tech, Eric's drum guy, and they were up at the Jordan 23, and there they were. So I'm hanging out. I bought them a couple beers, and the one thing that they said, because I'd asked them, "Hey, I saw Kiss a couple nights ago in Worcester," and they're like, "Yeah, it sounded terrible. We didn't mic it right. We didn't do that." And one thing that he mentioned was the crowd throws off your sound. So if that crowd is loud and boisterous, you have to tone down. You might move like the guitar up, or you turn the vocals this way so it's clean. Kiss knows what they're doing, and I'll throw Bon Jovi in that mix, and I'll throw obviously Zakk Wylde, even though that night he was off. Not him, but his sound guy was off. But there are guys who know how to level the sound, because if that crowd is rabid, you now need to adjust the sound to so that ambient crowd doesn't interfere with the music, because those mics will pick it up.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm not saying it's an easy job. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it better than them. No. I just know how I think it should sound in my head. And I know it's tough, because when you're on stage, I mean, I've never played in an arena. I've never played in a huge crowd. I've played in people's backyards and basements.
Oh man, I was hot in Japan.
I know
Herm was there.
But I know that when you're standing on stage, you can't really hear anything other than what you're doing.
No, because if you're an arena act, you have your ear monitors in.
You have a click track.
Yep. And if you notice
your isolated vocals, if you're a singer, and you hear your isolated guitar part, so you can keep time with the click track, and then you can do your vocal cues when you have to, especially if you're singing backup or harmony. So you really don't hear the crowd, you as the artist.
But your sound guy should be able to hear that.
Right. So some buildings are just better. I don't want to say they're better resonators for the ambient sound.
Mm-hmm. The way that Mohegan's built,
some revenue venues can absorb that crowd sound, and you get more of the band forward.
Have you been to a show at MSG?
Yes.
Okay, Herm, have you ever been to a show at MSG?
Yeah, I think so.
MSG is built outward, whereas Mohegan Sun is kind of built upward. So the sound at MSG has more places to go and bounce, and you really don't get that. And I understand reverb and resonation and all that. I don't think that when they built Mohegan Sun Arena, they thought they were going to get Black Label Society, Metallica, all these bands that were either bubbling or huge in Metallica's case back in 2001 when the arena opened.
You want the God's honest truth? The only reason the fucking arena was for the basketball team.
I believe that.
But they're now losing.
Yeah.
They had the basketball team, the indoor football team there for a little while.
Yep.
And they had
wrestling, rodeo wrestling.
And they had the rodeo come through every once in a while.
I'll tell you what, that building is great I've been to a basketball game. I've been to the arena football. I've done wrestling there. For things like that, for performance art without music-ish, that's a great place to see a show. And when we went to Chickenfoot, sound was great. But then again, Sammy Hagar, Michael Anthony, perfectionists. It has to be perfect. It has to be the way we want it. We demand the best. And I'm hoping, against hope, anyone who goes to that Metallica show, let us know. We want to hear about it. I want to know how the sound is that night. Yeah,
I'd be interested to be a fly on the wall, or just hear it from somebody who I trust in judgment.
Oh yeah, that building seats around, without all the staging. If you had minimal staging, 8,000, 9,000 people. The second time I saw Metallica, Ocean Center, Daytona, Florida. Oh, they were a headliner because Queensryche was the opener. I'm sorry, I've seen them twice as a headliner. And again, crystal clear. I won't say it sounded exactly like the record because you're live. Nothing's going to sound exactly like the record, but you could hear every vocal. You knew what he was saying. Even if you didn't really know the music, you could tell. It was like listening to the record for the first time, if you will.
Right.
And when they played stuff from Justice for All, you could actually hear the bass.
Finally.
Right? Well, I'm glad you had a good time,
good
man.
show.
I saw Foo Fighters once, and I can't say there's somebody I'd go back to, but man, what a good show.
We're going back to see him we're going to see him in August in Philly for my birthday.
This will be the first year I don't have any concerts on the lineup until something comes out and grabs me by the throat and says, you have to come see me.
Yeah.
Even Ghost in January.
The last couple of years, my wife, because we don't travel as much as we used to, we started doing the let's go see comedians and let's go see concerts thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for about the last since COVID, we've been doing concerts and comedians.
Nothing wrong with comedians.
I saw Jim Brewer 2 weeks ago.
How was that?
Fucking amazing. Amazing.
Did he do the Pesci bit?
No, he didn't. It's just more about his life, him and how he operates. Smart guy, ADD all the way. But it was a very funny show.
That bit he does about Pesci, and then later in his career, like he could just do Pesci imitations all night and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
But the bit he did about 4 or 5 years ago, might have been longer, where he's trying to talk his wife into going to see Metallica. And Slayer comes on, and and here come the Slayer fans. And again, going back to John Sterling, Jim Brewer painted a picture. I could picture myself in that crowd with him hiding.
He tells the story of the lead singer of AC/DC personally getting a hold of him.
No shit.
Have dinner. Him and his wife have dinner with him in New York City.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, I show up there. I couldn't see him. Turns out the guy's only 3 feet tall.
The hokey pokey bit he does is
yeah.
We're doing the hokey pokey.
So he does that bit.
Still on my shuffle.
And then he goes they're going into dinner. He's like, oh, I got a really quick story for you. And I guess he was really, really nasty and vulgar. And his wife was just like, and he was so, Brian Johnson was so just like no self-awareness about what he was saying. And it's just the whole thing was really, really funny. He could give a shit less.
Brian fucking Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
I'm going to say this, and if he were still alive and I had the chance to have dinner with him, regardless of our ideologies, if I got to sit in a room with Anton LaVey and just listen to him talk for an hour, he could say whatever the fuck he wanted to.
Pretty much.
I'm interested in hearing what you have to say, your stories, your everything. And who's the most vulgar person on the planet, really? A rock star.
They've seen some shit. They've done some shit.
Yeah.
To themselves and other people.
Oh yeah. Sitting
the week before that was Ron White, which was another phenomenal show.
He's always awesome.
Oh, dude, it was great. I saw Ron White for the very first time, 1992, maybe.
Oh, when he was still doing the cowboy gimmick.
Well, he was kind of Metro. I have to find a clip and send it to you. It's Ron White from like 91, 92. When I first saw him, I saw him at the Treehouse Comedy Club in Mystic.
Yes.
Many, many, many moons ago. I used to go there all the time.
A great place.
And he would look very metrosexual. Long, flowing black hair.
Oh, see?
Like a V-neck T-shirt.
Okay.
With a blazer over it.
After the cowboy gimmick.
Yeah, a cowboy bit was much earlier in his career. Like late 80s into the 90s.
Okay.
Like 91, 92, he started looking more like other stand-up comics of the era. He looked more like Seinfeld. He looked more like Richard Jenny. He looked more like what's his name? The neurotic guy, Richard Stewart.
Okay.
Richard Lewis.
Richard Lewis.
Sorry. But he knocked it out of the park. And that was another show. That was a makeup show. The first we were supposed to go see him in January when we had the Snowmageddon here, and they had to cancel because of weather. He even came out and said, "Man, I feel fucking bad about the last time I was supposed to be here, but fuck that snow."
Yeah. He told a story on one of his when he first broke. He told a story about coming to Foxwoods, and I happened to have gone to that show. And then, 2 years later, the new album comes out, and he goes, "We were at Foxwoods, biggest casino on earth, and they put us in a remote lot, not even remotely close to the biggest casino on earth." And he's talking about taking his dog out. The wife says, "What's the temperature?" "It's 0. There is none. Apparently, they don't have weather here." And he's funny as fuck because he says the shit that we all want to say. And sometimes we say it, but he just comes dead out. The bit he does about his second divorce, and he heard that the lawyer died. And he calls the number. He's like, "Can I speak to John Mayhew, please?" "Well, I'm sorry. Mr. Mayhew passed away last month." "Okay, thank you." Click. So I called right back. Do, 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 do. "Hello, may I speak to John Mayhew, please?" "Sir, I just told you he died." "Yeah, I know, but I love the sound of it."
I love the sound of it. I just wanted to hear it again. Click.
He did this bit about growing up. He was like 12, 13 years old. There was a roller skating rink that was attached to a porno drive-in theater.
It's
like there we were, a bunch of 13-year-olds wearing roller skates jerking off in the woods to this 40-foot cock. Just the way he says stuff is just like, oh my god. It was really, really good. It was a really good show. We saw Jimmy Carr earlier this year. It was very funny.
I know his brother Eric.
Yeah. Duh. Wrong car.
Oh, sorry.
And we got a bunch of other shows coming up. I can't even remember who the next comedian is, but we got a summer full of shows and comedians and shit. That's what we do now instead of traveling a lot.
I go to NASCAR.
I think Philadelphia is going to be the furthest away other than Key West. We're going to go this year.
Nice. I'm making an announcement here. Corey doesn't know it yet, but a bunch of us have made. Shut up. A bunch of us have made the decision that this may be our last year in New Hampshire.
Really?
Because, I mean, as much as I love it, I'm familiar with the area. Mark's familiar with the area. Corey's familiar with the area. But we've got to switch it up. I counted how many times I've been to New Hampshire Motor Speedway and or the greater Weirs Beach area for staying there. This will be my 21st foray to New Hampshire Motor Speedway and or the Weirs Beach area. Time to switch it up. And I'm thinking of either Dover in May, or if the boys are interested, I want to go to Watkins Glen. It's a bit more of a drive, but again, the problem with the road course is you get to see this much of it, then you look up at a big TV, then you wait for the cars to come by. But I will then have a bargaining chip to say, Herm, you want to come out and see a race? We're going to the Glen. Because I know that's his favorite track. He's avoiding me.
Oh, I'm not. I'm looking at something.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's time to switch it up, and I'm sure we'll have that conversation when we're poolside in August. And
my wife is going to go see Black Crows in June.
Black Crows is a phenomenal show. I hope they can still hang.
I had to pass. It's the middle of the week. It's on a school night. I got to work the next day. I made that exception for the Foo Fighters.
All right, I can understand that. For me, then I love the Black Crows. I'd go.
Yeah, September is Ed Sheeran again.
Oh Christ!
We see Seth.
How long does it take you guys to get to New Hampshire?
2.5, maybe 3 hours.
2.5.
It's about 5 hours to Watkins Glen.
Yes, I've already mapped it.
Probably be easier if you guys just took a bus.
Maybe. There are bus tours that come out of Central Connecticut that do Watkins Glen every year. They drive you there. They drop you at the hotel. They bring you to the track. They bring you home from the track. But then you can't, I don't know where the hotel is. I don't know if you can go grab yourself snacks or beer or whatnot. I don't know what the dynamic is. We drove, being me and Cuntzilla back in the day, to Charlotte for the night race, which turned out to be a day race because of rain. And we were right in the heart of the city. We were within walking distance of whatever they call it, Square, which had the piano bar and the really great restaurants. We stayed across the street from the Hall of Fame, which, again, if I ever go back to Charlotte, that's my first stop. I'm going back to the Hall of Fame. It was gorgeous.
Oh, my wife's also going to go see Post Malone and
all right,
whoever the fuck else.
If she's into that, rock and roll, I don't care. If you go and you have fun, man, have fun. Whenever you say Ed Sheeran, it's like this comes over me because I can't get into it. I've tried.
It's a great fucking show.
I can imagine. Live music is live music. I'm not a huge country fan, but when I saw Travis Tritt, Toby Keith, Diamond Rio, I can list off some of the country. The only one I was really excited for was Garth Brooks, and he just killed it, knocked it out of the park. Fucking phenomenal.
Two of the best shows I've ever been to in my life were Garth Brooks and Brooks and Dunn.
Never saw Brooks and Dunn.
Brooks and Dunn, it was like 92, 93, somewhere at some sort of fairgrounds or something. I don't remember. I just remember my friend Jack going, "Hey, I got a ticket for Brooks and Dunn. Extra one. You want to go?" Okay.
Yeah, okay.
It was great. It was a great fucking show.
I was a huge fan of Travis Tritt, and when I heard that there was at the it was at the sub base. Triple bill. Martina McBride was the opener when she was first bubbling. And Marty Stewart was second, and he blew me away. And then Travis Tritt closed it out. And then at the end, all three of them got together and did this huge jam. It was fun. I had a great time. Country shows are surprising. Like, I might know one Diamond Rio song, maybe two. And the whole night, I'm just sitting like Rain Man, rocking in my chair. And my girlfriend at the time is like, "What are you doing? Are they going to play Bubba Hyde? Shut up and enjoy the show."
That's what Diamond Rio. My dad loved Diamond Rio.
Oh, they're so good.
Good band. Good band.
Yeah, they are.
I like Dan and Shay too.
Who?
Dan and Shay.
Is that an ice cream?
No, Dan and Shay.
Oh, I think you said Dan and Shay. Like yogurt and ice cream together.
It's Irish yogurt.
Hello, Danny.
Welcome to
Scottish
Dan and Shay.
It's haggis flavored yogurt.
That's right.
Can I get you a Guinness, eh?
Can I get you a pint and some haggis?
I've ignored this as long as I could.
What?
You slick willy bastard up there in the top corner. What's going on with baby Jessica?
Apparently earlier in the year, some point between late 25 and early 26, she became a grandmother. That's all I knew. I just saw a thing that came across my shit. Lynch was the one that brought up that she got arrested.
Yeah, she got arrested.
But you said, "Have you heard about baby Jessica?" And I'm like,
that's why that's why, because I realized that and it was something about feeling old. She is officially a grandmother as of earlier this year. So I'm just saying, you want to feel old. There it is. That was how we were feeling old. You want to feel old.
Grandmama at 40
in Midland, Texas.
She never left town.
Funny because that's the same piece of shit.
She never left town.
No, that's the same piece of shit dirt town that Landman
She fell in the well.
Is happened. Yeah,
yep.
she never left Midland.
It all started when I said, "Y'all want to feel old." Kurt Loder is 81 years old.
Right, and I said, and I was like, I could beat that shit with that shit I saw the other day. Maybe just who fell down the well. Y'all remember that? Yeah, that bitch is a grandmother and she's 40 and she never left town. That's how that. Now you feel real fucking old. That bitch is a grandmother. Kurt Loder being 81, we could totally deal with. We were 15. Yeah. He was 30 for fuck's sake. 35.
You look her up first. Her mugshot is staring you right in the face. It's like,
yeah, it's not. You know, Google is not nice with like,
No.
that's her most current photo, and Google's not nice, but in other pictures she doesn't look that wrecked. But
I'm gonna look, but right underneath the picture, it says her age. It says who her parents are. The overview, and you said she got arrested in Midland, Texas. The overview. As soon as you said that, I read the overview. I'm like, she never left.
no, she never left. She lives
Jessica McClure Morales. There's your
Yep.
first problem.
Well,
Fell into a well in her
Christ.
aunt's backyard in Midland, Texas in 1987 at the age of 18 months old. Over the next 58 hours, rescued worked to free her from the 8-inch well casing about 22 feet below the ground. First of all, if I fell in the well anywhere, I'd never go back. Ever. She
That
stayed.
fucking move.
And her husband, oh my God, look at him.
I mean, she didn't stay in the tube.
No, but she stayed in the
She
town.
never
I'd have
the
left.
town. You know what I mean?
No,
Like if you
yeah.
had a car crash in Ledyard, it's like you're never ever going to live there again.
Okay, a car crash is different. I spent 58 hours in a fucking well. I'm out
Yeah,
here.
but she doesn't live in the same house. She just lives in the same town.
I have an aversion to sewer grates. If I
And
fell
I'll
in a
bet
sewer
you
grate,
make damn
I'm
sure
never
that
going.
whatever well,
Hey guys,
whatever
guys,
well is on her property, she's got a fucking
you-
cap on that bitch,
Go ahead.
can you
Mike.
send down a ham sandwich?
right?
I'm hungry.
I can lower some finger sandwiches down on a string, girl. What's up? You can live.
I want to try on my prom dress.
Well, I mean, technically, it's
Can I do that
Texas. I
down
mean,
here?
if you poured enough Dr. Pepper down that tube, the carbonation, she'd float right to the fucking top,
There you go. I'd be the sick.
Guys.
I'd be the sick bitch that would send lotion in a basket. That's just me.
right?
Oh.
Grease it up. Rub the lotion on its skin.
So we got this new cat, right? Megan goes,
Yep.
her name's Precious. I'm like,
No, it isn't.
Buffalo Bill Precious? No, fuck no, it ain't. I ain't screaming through the house, Precious, come here.
Oh, yes, I could.
Give
Yes,
me my effing dog.
because that's how
You're
you.
my effing cat.
Yes, no. It'd be like fucking
Gollum.
Dr. Evil or whatever the fuck his name is.
My precious.
Or let's see, Dr. Claw in Inspector Gadget, always spinning around with the cat. Yeah.
Stroking his pussy.
Did anybody else expect to see that way more evil villains in life just spinning around, holding pets and cats, given all of the shit we saw as kids, like the weird personalities that all of the villains and shit had? Like, don't you think that should be more of a thing? Like, we never see anybody just spin around and we need more of that
Well, I'll start-
while they're threatening the world, you know?
Didn't that start with Donald Pleasance in that James Bond movie? Was
Oh, with the cat.
Hell.
It was with the cat in what was that?
he was Blowfield?
Yes.
He had the fucked up eye. That's what they based Dr. Evil on.
I think so.
Yeah,
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Him and what is it? What's the one with the gold Fort Knox? No, fuck. What was the?
Goldfinger.
Yes, there it is. But yes, he
Goldfinger.
was in that. And what's his name? The Japanese guy, the big dude with the hat.
Odd job.
Odd job.
Odd job.
He was in
Random cast.
many other movies, but yes,
Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji.
almost.
Hackasaw Jim Duggan. You have a one
Racial
across
stereotypes
eye.
never get old.
When my Yokozuna get through with you, you have a
Two cross
eye.
Jesus Christ.
How racist. Okay,
What did I just say?
Off topic.
Racist stereotypes that never die.
hot topic. Until about 2000, wrestling. Professional wrestling on television was the most racist shit you could watch on television.
Pretty much. Pretty fucking much.
Oh well, yeah. They would use not just that, but they also were the most fucking culturally appropriating body on the planet.
Of course.
No, we're gonna make you look like a. We're gonna rub you down. And you gotta start tanning, and then we're going to put an Indian headdress on you and some moccasin, some wrestling boots that look like moccasin, and we're gonna call your character a buffalo after this fucking Kevin Costner movie that's really hot right now.
To his credit, Chris Chavis, who played that character, was actually Indian American.
No, I know that, but you know that all
He just
right.
played the stereotype.
Well,
Right,
wait, there's more. Do you remember who his
exactly.
Do you remember who his mentor was? Chief J. Strongbow.
Chief J. Strongbow, not
He was an
Indian.
Italian guy.
I was going to say not Indian at all.
Billy White Wolf was
He
not
was a dark-skinned
Native
Italian
American.
man with a huge nose.
Billy White Wolf was not a Native American. Until they realized who he was and what his lineage was, that's when he became General Adnan al-Qaisi. Because he's an Iranian, Saudi, whatever the fuck.
Right.
But think about it. You want to take one guy. We all love Sheiky Baby. Sheiky Baby fled Iran to live in the United States all his life.
When it went to shit.
Yeah.
Because
all his life, living in America. Living the dream, loved America. You've seen the movie. He loved the fact that he could come to this country and do what he wanted to do. He got into wrestling. And when he got good, we're going to put a keffiyeh on you, grow your mustache. We're going to call you the Iron Sheik, and you're going to spit on America every chance you get.
Right. We're going to make Americans hate you, and we're going to use the gimmick. And he was like, okay.
Look at Fuji. Fuji.
He was the ultimate.
His entire career. Go ahead, Lynch.
Iron Sheik was the ultimate heel.
Yes,
because it built right into he. There was no. He didn't have to play up a racial stereotype. It was just him.
Mr. Fuji doesn't actually speak that way.
I know,
but Mr. Fuji is also not Japanese. He's from Hawaii.
No, I know that,
Yeah,
but that's
Hawaiian.
the thing. Like, he is not Japanese. You got the whole character, but he speaks fluent English, and he don't talk like this.
No,
you
like
oh no,
he's half Japanese, but he grew up in Hawaii. He's got the face. I watched his Hall of Fame speech.
Talk to you like this, brother.
Yeah, and in his Hall of Fame speech, I'm like, that's not Fuji. That's not Fuji.
Yeah, it's like I take it right because in the Hall of Fame speech, he's like, yeah, and it.
Yeah. I came to this company, but he does have that thing that he used to do, like the last syllable always drawn out. When I come to this company, I felt so happy, and I'm like, all right, that's Fuji. But it wasn't like a Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. You could see where he uses his own. The way that thing about and adds the accent and the Japanese thing. But
another hot take. If I were a black man in the 80s and they paid me to do what James Harris did, I'd have been Kamala. James Harris was a guy from Mississippi who just happened to be athletic, although overweight. And he wrestled as Sugar Bear James Harris. And one day, Jerry Jarrett, the whitest white man on earth, father of JEFFJRRETT, brings James Harris. That's right. Brings him into the office and says, I have an idea for a character. I want to see if you'll do it. We're going to shave your head. We're going to put paint on you. We're going to put a big bone in your nose. You're going to carry a spear and a shield. And we're going to call you Kamala, the Ugandan giant. And James Harris made more money off of that gimmick. I can't say that I wouldn't have done it. If I were living somewhere in Djibouti and I were a wrestler and somebody said, come here, Chris, we got an idea for a character. We're going to part your hair far to the right. You're going to have a pocket protector and a bunch of pens, thick horn-rimmed glasses, and we're going to call you the Cracker. How much you paying me? I'd have done it. It's entertainment.
Professor George Steele.
There you go.
Mathematics professor.
Mm-hmm. And in the summertime and weekends in Detroit.
The green Kool-Aid monster.
Yep.
Eating turnbuckles. And
I can't remember his real name, though, but somebody showed a picture of him recently on one of my forums. It was like, this was the high school yearbook picture. You got this like really cool smile and he looks really nice. He's in his suit, same bald head, obviously. And
William
I'm like,
James Myers.
okay, Jim Myers. Thank you. It was Bruce Pritchard who put this up. And I'm like, if you don't live on the East Coast or in Detroit, where the wrestling was being shown, because Michigan is split in two for television coverage back in the 70s. Once that shit went major, he had to get out of teaching. Because they'll be like, Mr. Myers, listen, I was at the amphitheater last week and I watched WrestleMania 3 and somebody hit the Macho Man and then Ricky Steamboat rolled him up for the pin. It looked a lot like you.
It looked like you.
Yeah. No, that ain't me. I'm from Buffalo.
Do you think that they could get away with those stereotypical characters now?
I'd like to say no.
Climate?
I'd like to say no. However, there is a gentleman now, a big beefy motherfucker, but he is an actual Nigerian, and he's playing the character. I don't know what his real name is. His screen name is Oba Femi, and he's just this big jacked up Nigerian dude, and he is awesome in the ring. I like his character. I like his stuff. But if he were just some guy from Los Angeles, no, I don't think you could do it.
So it's interesting that they still have gimmicks.
Yeah.
But they're so different than when we were kids. It's
Sure.
the exception, not the rule. Whereas
A
back
guy
in the
like-
70s, the 80s, it was the rule, not the exception.
Well, now
Everybody
he
has
has to
some
be
sort
from
of really
Uganda.
whacked out
They
fucking
have to
gimmick.
make sure they're using it right and they're doing it right and they're not appropriating or making fun of anybody or degrading anybody.
They
Once
tried
use
that,
if they can use his true lineage, where he's from, and it's current now, and they're
and he
not
can
talking
exacerbate
about-
it.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, and we're not going
couldn't
like,
get
oh,
away with
his
the Irish Sheik today.
great grandfather was from Africa, but nobody since. That's hard. But if he is relatively close, like grew up as and you can totally use that as your gimmick because that's who you are.
But to Lynch's point, you could get away with the Iron Sheik today if, like Sheik, you came from that country and you're willing to put that out there, like Obafemi's doing. When we were kids, we laughed at a guy like the Honky Tonk Man because he was comedy. We laughed at George Steele because he's comedy. Right now, if you were to go look up the top 10 T-shirt sales in WWE right now, two comedy wrestlers, and one's a comedy wrestler, the other one is a really good wrestler, are Danhausen and Joe Hendry. Top 10 merchandise sales. Danhausen, all comedy, but I love it. Joe Hendry, Lynch hates him because of the song. I get it. But they're skilled. It's not like Honky Tonk Man who knew 3 moves and 2 of them were headlock.
Yeah, well, he had 4 moves. Hitting you with a guitar was move number 4.
Yep. Headlock, and that neck breaker he did.
Yeah. What
Past
was
that, it was
the shake, rattle, and roll?
I think so, yes.
Something to that effect.
You would not be able to get away with the Japanese
No.
caricatures.
You
or
could not
the
get away.
blatant- The blatant,
What?
like, appropriation.
Watch Herm's eyes. You could not take a college football player out of Minnesota, bring him to North Carolina, look at him and say, I want you to shave your head, get a handlebar mustache. Scott, Mr. Simpson, we're going to call you Nikita Koloff.
Right.
You couldn't do that. You're right, Lynch. You could not do that. But if Nikita Koloff,
You could.
if you were exacerbating his lineage.
Right. You will not really, because you're just making him Russian, and Russians aren't pussies, and they're not really going to care. You're not really. All he's doing is, and honestly, there's a lot of leeway because we are playing a character, and while they don't want the audience to know that and be reminded of that all the time, when it comes down to what the business is that they are selling, we all know that is a character behind the scenes and whatnot. So there's so you could get away with it as long as it's not too.
Well, see, you, me, the fence post Burns, and everybody else who watches wrestling knows that.
Why am I the fence
You know
post?
who doesn't? You know who doesn't, and doesn't really want to know, is the mothers of the fans of the people who watch wrestling primarily.
I'm going to tell you this right now.
12
the
to 18
mothers,
year olds, the fucking
mothers,
40-year-old white moms who have to make it their full-time job to be pissed off about everything for everybody else except themselves.
Okay, that's fair. But if you're a 40-year-old mother who takes your kid to the show, they are as invested in it. And I'm saying this now because I've been in those crowds.
Them bitches be buying T-shirts now, Lynch.
I've been in those crowds where I had a kid sitting in front.
So fucked up now, and I haven't been to a show, but I've seen them, and the demographic.
All right, so
now
maybe not the direct.
so
All right, so maybe not my kids, because I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling dad. I have a wrestling mom as a wife.
Yeah. If you're regular everyday mom,
our neighbors who happen to go to wrestling with my kid, it's everything. The problems lie with people who have nothing else better to do than look at everything through a microscope and critique it to fucking death. And these are the people I'm talking about. And it's white fucking women who have nothing else better to do.
Yep.
Because because women power. I'm a empowered woman. I'm gonna fight everybody else's fight for them. Well,
sure.
No. You make assumptions about people based on their race. That's fucking racist.
Right. Two quick stories. Emma had always wanted to go to wrestling, so I took her. And the last time we went was in Worcester. And the row ahead of us was, this kid couldn't have been more than 6. And he is MF this and kiss my stuff and stick it down your mouth and suck it. And Emma's just looking at me like, what do you want me to do? He's not my kid. And
how old
the
is Emma?
mother at the time, this was 3 years ago, maybe.
Oh, so she's teenager.
She was 15 at the time. Yeah.
All right. So teenager.
She's looking at me like, you believe this kid? I'm like, dude, if it were you, it's one thing. You're 15. This kid is like he hadn't hit double digits yet. And the mother is just as loud and vociferous as the kid was. Because we mentioned
apple tree.
Because we mentioned Professor Myers earlier. In 1987, my brother and I are seeing my grandmother off. Of course, my parents were there. We couldn't drive. And we're in Hartford Airport, Bradley. And we see a bunch of big, beefy guys roll by. Among them were the craziest human being ever in the history of ever, Billy Jack Haynes, Paul Roma, Ricky Steamboat, and George Steele, the aforementioned Jim Myers. And my brother goes, I'm going to go up and get an autograph. Good luck with George Steele. We're still in that phase where we know it's kind of bullshit, but we're not quite sure it's kind of bullshit and what have you.
He might rip your head off.
He might bite you. You don't know. So we both went up to Billy Jack Haynes, got an autograph. We both went up to Paul Roma and Ricky Steamboat, got an autograph. And then my brother turned to George Steele. My brother had
what do you want, kid?
No fear back then. And he just turned, he goes, will you sign this? And George Steele looked at him and goes, sure, kid, what's your name? And Matt's face went white and my face went white. And he goes, Matt, to Matt, George Animal Steele. And what about you, Chris? Okay. I went over and I talked to George Steele for a few minutes, and not George Steele, Billy Jack Haynes. Little did I know what would happen to him later on in life, because he's a crazy fuck. Herm heard it on Crime and Sports. Billy Jack Haynes is a fucking basket case. And right there, the wall got torn down. These are human beings, and they're out giving you a show. When I run into these guys, or when I've interviewed these guys, they love talking about their career, but they're more interested in you knowing who they are as a human being. Having Joe Laurinaitis as a friend for 10 years before he passed away was some of the best times of my life, because I could say, I remember, and he would hate this. He would call me and we talk about politics, or I'd call him and we'd talk about football. And in the middle of everything, I'd say, Joe, you remember that night back in 88, and it was you guys and the Nasty Boys, and it was Halloween Havoc. He goes, Chris, why do you have to do this? I'm like, because I need to know. And he would entertain me. As long as I didn't do it all the time, Joe would entertain me. So thank you, Joe. And if you guys want to watch something cool, 2 weeks from now on A&E, they're doing a whole biography on the Road Warriors. So,
well, when you and I were teenagers, Sergeant Slaughter was here all the time.
Oh yeah, car lots, wrestling shows. I'm surprised he didn't work at Burger King.
Yes.
So small world getting smaller, even smaller story is my wife's uncle, who lived in Canterbury, was very good friends with Sergeant Slaughter and Jesse Ventura.
Yes.
Jesse Ventura and my wife's uncle served together in the United States Navy in Buds.
No shit.
Yes.
He was in Buds? Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
talk about a small world. And then here I am, X amount of years later, in my, 24, 25, meeting the family for the first time. And I see a picture of her uncle with Jesse Ventura and Sergeant Slaughter. I'm like, you know these guys? And he's like, oh, yeah, I got a story about it. And he starts telling me the story about him. He and Jesse served in the Navy at the same time. And Sergeant Slaughter became a close personal friend because he was in Connecticut, blah, 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 blah. He's been over to the house for dinner. I'm like, whoa,
That's pretty fucking awesome.
whoa. You're blowing my fucking mind. Sergeant Slaughter, probably one of my favorite wrestlers as a kid, ate here in Canterbury. He's like, yeah. I was like, I need a beer. I'm drinking to that. I mean, it's cool shit.
When young people, and I say young people, will say 35 and under, we're going to draw a line in the sand.
God, we're fucking old, dude.
When I meet somebody and they find me on Facebook, like coworkers or just people I meet at parties and stuff, and they find me on Facebook, it happened to me just a few months ago. They peruse my Facebook and I'll get a message. How do you know Bob Backlund? Like, well, I've met him. He was my childhood hero.
That was another guy, Bob Backlund.
He was my childhood hero. I've met him several times over the years. I interviewed him. I know where he lives. I've been to his house. He now lives in Florida with his daughter. He's enjoying his Why do you ask? Because there's a picture on your Facebook of you getting the chicken wing from Bob Backlund. I'm like, oh, yeah, here, I'll send you the link. You can watch it live. And they're flabbergasted, much like you were on that day. Are you going to die? Please don't die. But yeah, they're just as flabbergasted to see that picture on my Facebook of me getting manhandled by Bob Backlund.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've told our celebrity stories. Harm, close it out. Give us a celebrity story from your life and times. Doesn't have to be a wrestler either. Killed a bunch of people once.
Yeah. I was very, very clever. Most of my famous people are because of work.
Restaurant patrons, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like
an interaction.
Luther Vandross, because I was cooking for him that night.
Ooh.
And his chef wanted the maple horseradish roasted chicken recipe.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I went on the bus and taught a chef how to make the dish. It was when I worked
nice.
When I worked at the casino, actually. Running into Bobby Flay, running into Jasper White, running into Todd English, working with some of them, stuff like that. Ringo Starr, just shit like that. That's about as close as I get. I get for them.
One of my favorite celebrity interactions came from someone I didn't know was a celebrity, which was working in Vermont as a security guard, working overtime, get a call. Hey, we need you at Ben & Jerry's factory tonight. We're paying double time. You are going to be watching over somewhere near $3 million in television equipment. And I was like, all I heard was double time. Yeah, I'm there. So me and my partner for the night, we park up in the field at Ben & Jerry's. If you've never been to the Ben & Jerry's factory, there's a field right near the Flavor Graveyard where all this stuff was set up. And we sat there overnight and just watched this equipment. We listened to ball games. We listened to music. We were just chilling. And as the sun is rising, 4 black Escalades pull up. And the first person to get out was Mark Stummers from Double Dare, who became like a huge television producer. And I'm like, oh, look, it's the guy from Double Dare. I didn't give a fuck. And then another guy got out, and my partner was like, oh, my God, do you know who that is? Like, Is he a cop? He's got a shirt with a cop emblem on it. He goes, that's Robert Irvine. Who the fuck is Robert Irvine? And he explains it to me. I don't know Robert Irvine from a hole in the ground. He walks right up to us, shakes our hand. He tips us each $100 for watching his equipment. We're already getting paid double time. Now we got an extra $100 each. He couldn't have been nicer. He couldn't have been sweeter. We got pictures with him. We got autographs. I went home and I told my wife, I said, I met Robert Irvine. I didn't know who he was. She was like, oh my God, he's so awesome. I'm like, how the fuck do I not know who this guy is? So then I watched his show. You don't have to like him as a chef. Dude is entertaining as fuck. Couldn't have been sweeter. I've interacted with him a couple times on Twitter and through email because he's just that nice of a person where if you email him, he will answer you.
Yeah, he replies.
Yeah. There was a time when Emma was in her like 6 or 7 or 8-year-old phase, and she's like, you know, you and Robert Irvine, how come he doesn't come over to the house? You guys are friends. Emma, we're not friends. I only met him once. Da, 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 da. So I sent him a tweet. Hey, can you please tell my daughter we're not friends? She has this hang up. This guy not only tweeted back, but he emailed me because he recognized my Twitter name is the same as my email. And he goes, never tell your daughter something like that. This was the private email. Don't tell your daughter something like that. Let her live the dream. Let her have that moment in the sun. But his tweet back was, Emma, of course we're friends. We just don't get to hang out as often as we like. Hope you guys are good. I'm like, nigga, please.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, right? Why? You're making me look like a liar to my kid. But he couldn't have been nicer. He was one of the sweetest people I've ever met that's a celebrity. And his wife is hot. Oh, is she hot.
You know who was really cool?
Me?
Really, really, really cool. Regis Philbin
Really?
Was one of the sweetest men I've ever met in my life.
Reg.
Worked security at Mohegan, my first job there. He performed in the old ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I had stage duty, front and center, right in front of him, his opening act in him. And then I was on the detail for after the show. Done the show, blah, 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 blah. We get in our ear, okay, you guys are ready to go backstage. So we go backstage. We said, Mr. Philbin, we're going to be your escort for the evening. It's me and my 2 coworkers here. Where do you need to go? Anywhere you need to go, we'll just follow you. Okay. You guys thirsty? I was like, what? You guys thirsty? I said, yeah, I could use a drink. How about you guys? Yeah. Hang on a second. Tells his assistant, go get these guys some ice cold water, the stuff that's in my green room. Bring that out here for them. His assistant comes over, gets a bottle of water, and we just start walking. And he's like interviewing us.
Wow.
Asking us, well, tell me about yourself, guys. Where you guys local here? Do you live here? Do you live here in Montville, Connecticut? Yeah, how about you, Chris? I was like, oh, I grew up in Mystic. Oh, Mystic Pizza. Yeah, I've heard of that place. Joey and I have been down there before. Blah 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 blah. And he's just going on and on and on. And I was like, what? This you saw?
It was out of control.
I'm like, have I known you all my life?
You know who else is like that? And I'm sure you had interaction with him too at the casino. David Cassidy, God rest his soul.
Yes, David Cassidy was a really nice dude.
I was shutting down the cigar shop. The associates were putting their tills away, getting ready to go to general cashiering, and I hadn't locked the door yet. And the door opens, and he goes, "Hey guys, are you still open?" I'm like, "We just pulled the tills." He goes, and as he's walking forward, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "You look familiar. Do I know you?" And he goes, "Oh, hi, I'm David Cassidy." I'm like, "Drew, put your till back in."
Yeah.
He goes, "What?"
I'm like, I shoot a brick.
I'm like, "That's David Cassidy." I wasn't a huge fan, but could have been nicer, couldn't have been sweeter. Not quite like Regis Philbin, but he asked me, a little bit about me and whatever. You know who else was cool? Tony Orlando.
I can imagine him being very cool.
When he was there at one of the 900 times he played the cabaret, he did a book signing. And I'm working, so I can't go. So I asked Chris at, was it Spin City, whatever the fuck. Mike,
Street.
Can you get him to sign a book for me? For my mom. So Chris calls me, early days of cell phones, flip that sumbitch open. I was like, yeah, he goes, what are you doing right now? Like, I'm in my office. My office was behind Trading Cove. And he goes, you need to come to the shop right now. We're closed. I'm going to let you in. Tony wants to see you. Okay, I'm on my way. I had the Bugs Bunny vapor trail behind me. Ran to Spin Street. Chris opens the door. I walk in. He goes, you must be Chris. Hi, Tony Orlando. Nice to meet you. Tell me a little about your mom before I sign this book. I'm sorry, you called for me for this. This is, beyond my wildest dreams. So as I'm telling him about my mom and answering questions, he signs the book, and I didn't look at it until I gave it to my mom for Christmas. And she opens it up, and the inscription read, to Roberta, I hope your life is as fabulous as I hear you are. Your son is a tribute to you. Love, Tony Orlando.
Wow.
And that melted me.
Sweet.
I was like, motherfucker, that guy is so awesome. And to this day, Candida is still one of my favorite songs.
I like Tony Orlando.
Tony Orlando's awesome.
He always seemed like a good dude. So do you were you working at the casino when Sky first opened in 2000? Yes. Okay. Do you remember?
Dan Aykroyd was a cunt.
Yeah. Okay. It was former President Bill Clinton, and then the cadre of fucking celebrities: Ice-T, Coco, John Cusack, Sarah Michelle Gellar, all those kids. Well, one of my buddies was a security supervisor, just kind of escorting these groups of celebrities around, and he's talking on his lapel mic to dispatch, and he's escorting with Ice-T, and Ice-T goes, "Are you talking to me, man?" He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking to my microphone." He goes, "Oh shit, who are you talking to?" He said, "I was talking to surveillance." He's, "Oh shit, am I on camera? Am I on camera right now?"
You're in a fucking casino.
We were following him, and as when he tells me the story, I play it back. I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying. Are you following me? You motherfucking follow me? Can I come see the room? Can I go see the room?" So he calls me on the phone. He's like, I said, "Yeah, I heard him. As much as I'd love to, I can't." That was pretty cool.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I heard Dan Aykroyd was a real twat.
He was.
Which is unfortunate.
Tony Danza is also a cunt. I will say John Bon Jovi. This is later when I left and came back, and I was working with the Farmer's Almanac there. John Bon Jovi wanted to come in and do some shopping, and security wanted to shut it down, and I agreed, but the owner, who lived in Pennsylvania, didn't agree. So I just said, lock it down. John Bon Jovi's coming in. And we locked it down. He was only there for like 25 minutes. And I introduced him. I'm like, "Hey, I'm Chris. This is Jack, the other assistant store manager." And he goes, "Jack, how are you?" Now, I'd already introduced myself as Chris. For this 20 minutes to a half hour, he called me Bud the entire time. He called Jack, but he called me Bud. And I felt like the kid on the Cosby Show. His name is Bud.
Yeah, his name Bud.
And my friend Nat, his girlfriend, the hugest Bon Jovi fan I've ever met, I told her that story. And to this day, Melissa still calls me Bud because of John fucking Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I see. You forget how many celebrities I'd actually seen while I was at the casino, either on camera or just in passing, like in the Uncas Grill.
To me,
Eddie Money.
To me, eating
Eddie
next
Money
to,
was stumbling. I'll never forget the night in 1998 when Eddie Money is lost, ends up back of the house in the Uncas Grill, drunk off his fucking ass, stumbling through the Uncas Grill and asking people, "We're gonna get a fucking cup of coffee in his joint." And he's standing in the middle by where the turnstiles are.
Yep.
Well, surveillance had been looking for him for an hour.
Sitting next to the Nelson brothers when they played there in the Uncas Grill. Who was the other guy? Shit. Lou Gramm was completely sweet, but maybe the best of all of them to me, not a celebrity to all of you out there, maybe in Australia or anywhere else, Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him.
He came in, and I was in the office, and I could hear
He's
his
like 3
voice.
foot
I'm like,
nothing, right?
yeah, he's like Brian Johnson size.
Yeah.
And somebody said, our manager
Size.
does an impression of you. I'm like, it is Bob. I'm toast. This was like being put on the spot in front of Dusty Rhodes saying, Chris does a Dusty Rhodes impression. Shut up, Mike Coons. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you have to do the Dusty. You have to do the Dusty impression in front of Dusty. He's like, yeah, that's good, but it's not quite the dream, baby. And now I have to do the Bob impression in front of Bob. I heard you do a fantastic impression of me. And the first thing I could think of was the one that Herm and I used to do back in the day. Looks like leather, feels like leather, because it is luxurious leather. Come on down.
Come on down.
And his dad, everywhere you sit. And his dad was like, Bob, that sounded like you. And Bob no-sold it like a motherfucker. He goes, wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. I'm like, Bob.
Come on
to me,
down.
To me, that was like, it blew my mind because I'm watching this guy on TV all my life, every 35 fucking seconds on television. Not like David Cassidy, who was an hour a week. Not like any of these other guys. Bob was in your face every other commercial.
Yeah, think about the empire he built.
Oh, yeah. Look at it. Nationwide. Now. He's on Denny Hamlin's fucking car, for crying out loud.
I know.
To see that truck drive down the road with the car on it and the puppet Bob holding on for dear life, that's hilarious.
Down. I like the puppet Bob.
Puppet Bob is not Bob. I want Bob.
No. It's cool because it's so bad. It's cheesy.
It is, but it isn't, because there was something about seeing Bob come on your television with that scruffy beard and the Ed Asner thing going on. Like, if you come down this week, you'll save 20% off of all our wonderful furniture. We got to go.
Who's the old guy at Wheeling City Ford? Come down. I'd like to meet you.
I'd like to meet you. I think he's dead now. But
yeah,
he died
in a while.
He's like 300 years old.
Yes.
I would like to meet you.
I think Marty Sullivan Jesus from N.J. Sullivan. When I first met him, I thought he was Jesus. It's like,
yeah,
you're Marty Sullivan. Yes, how are you? I'm Marty Sullivan. I'm like, you're on TV. To me, that was it. You're on TV.
All right.
Fuck. All right, we've had some fun. Come back next week. We'll have something for you. We don't know.
Review, right?
Yeah, Speedway Review, 8 o'clock. We're talking about Texas and how much Chris sucks at fantasy.
Heard.
And some racing.
Something like that.
Heard. Chris sucks.
Yeah, Chris sucks with a flavor straw.
One of the curly ones that like comes up and makes your glasses.
Yes. Don't forget to go out and get yourself some cake frosting Mountain Dew.
Oh, God, it was so fucking gross.
It's better the second time. That's all I'm going to say. I had to retry it.
No, I can't. I can't. It's like dirty panties.
Ugh!
Grandma's undies.
Hot take.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah, go get some. Hot take. If Dr. Pepper is barbecue soda, add some coconut to it. It's fantastic.
You know what I mean? Dr. Pepper is just barbecue Sprite. There it is.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Spicy Sprite. You wouldn't like that. It's spicy.